Here are 10 things that you may want to consider doing to build a good working relationship with your school. My name is Leah. If you're interested in what life looks like living and working abroad, this channel's for you. In today's video, I am sharing 10 things that I would like to recommend that you guys do to build a good working relationship with your school. These are things that you're going to be doing outside your contractual obligations. By no means am I telling you what to do. As a new teacher coming in, you will already be flooded enough with work and expectations and adjustments. These are just suggestions that have worked for me in every country that I have taught in. I'm sharing this with you today because I think one of the biggest culture shocks of new teachers that come abroad, specifically teaching in Taiwan or the Asian market, is the cultural differences between the school system. Whereas teachers and government really set the criteria on how the school is run, parents have a massive influence with how schools are run here. So much so that on my first year, I had emails written to me that had expectations of what questions parents expected to be on the midterms and the finals that I gave to their children to ensure that their children passed. When you become a teacher here in Taiwan, not only are you as a teacher being judged as an individual, but your participation is also a reflection on how good the school is and how good the administration is. If the school looks good, you look good. First thing that I'm going to suggest is meet and greet. Meet and greets are not the same as parent-teacher conferences. This is usually held in the beginning of the year. It's like an open house. The parents are coming in, they're meeting their children's teacher for the first time, they're getting a feel for the classroom, the child is getting a feel for the classroom, and this is a prime opportunity for you to get ahead of the game by introducing yourself to the parents, letting them know what your credentials are, giving them a bit of your personality, and letting them know why you are excited about teaching their child for the year. It gives them a sense that you are interested, as you should be, and that you are excited about being there. The next thing that I would suggest that you do, if you have the time, I cannot stress enough how much parents love to see their children in performances. I'm not talking about setting aside time for like a huge play, more like if you are celebrating holidays like Christmas or Easter or Thanksgiving, and you have an opportunity to record a 3 or 4 minute video of a dance that you've practiced, of a song that you've practiced with each of the class that you're able to send out for the parents, it is very much appreciated. Another thing that you might want to consider is how much being an English speaker can be a resource and a help to other teachers. When I taught in the 3 school program, and now actually, there are a lot of teachers that are wanting to also get better in English, and they are enrolled in courses. Some of them are enrolled in college courses, and some of them are enrolled in mandatory classes that they have to take as part of their curriculum for working at the school. And you as an English speaker can actually be a resource. Sometimes you can check essays that they're writing. Sometimes you can check entrance exams. If you have the time, you could practice maybe interviewing skills. A lot of teachers really appreciate that because they'd be paying, 1,000 NT an hour for something that may take you 5 or 10 minutes to look over. There's something just to take into consideration. Somewhere in your teaching year, I'm going to suggest that you have a day, a week, a set amount of time where you are able to educate and show off your individual culture. A lot of times I have been asked to share the American culture, but there are also subcultures from where you come from. To be able to educate and share my Black heritage and my Black culture with my students really gives them a greater understanding of me as an individual, and it also helps combat the negative stereotypes that the media has us portrayed in. If there are practices that you have, if there are things that you do during the holidays with just your family, sharing that cultural experience really helps bridge your relationship with your students and with the school and with the parents. Parents are very curious about what you are teaching to their children, and sometimes they can be very opinionated about what you are sharing in your class, especially during midterms and finals. I always make a study guide that is sent out 1 or 2 weeks ahead. It tells basic elements of what you will be giving on your midterm and final and what they can be studying. It prevents the parents from coming back and maybe have an opinion about the test being too hard, or them not having enough time to prepare, or them critiquing your curriculum. And then number 2, it shows that you want to make sure that the children succeed and what to expect for the upcoming exam. By the way, if you're finding this information valuable, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Consider creating English speaking activities outside of the classroom. For example, I've created a conversational sheet that is very basic and very easy, and any student can come up to my desk to practice that interaction with me. When they do, they are given a sticker, and after they receive so many stickers, they can exchange it for a prize. It encourages your students to come and speak. It helps build up their confidence. Another responsibility that you are most likely to have when you arrive in Taiwan to teach is either being part of the RT club, the Readers Theater Club, or helping English speaking competitions. Either the homeroom teacher or your co-teacher will take them to these competitions. You are not mandated to go to these competitions, but a lot of times I do. I like to show support for my students, and your students will appreciate the fact that you take them more seriously than just a job of being just the Readers Theater teacher or just the English teacher. It makes them feel supported, and that's like the feeling that you want to leave with them more than anything, that you value them and that you believe in them. And what better way to do that than, giving up a Sunday once every 3 or 4 months to show up at something that you helped them train months for. When it comes to a project that you want to do that requires outside materials like stationery or colors or food, it is a really meticulous process in Taiwan. Usually what happens is you have to give them a list, then the list has to go for approval. Once it's gone for approval, it goes to accounting for approval. Once it's approved by accounting gives somebody the money. Usually a teacher will go out and buy your supplies either in the evening hours or on their days off away from their families. They have to get a certain receipt with a certain tax number that is then resubmitted to accounting, and then accounting will then go through that approval process again and then give the teacher the money back. I have an issue with the fact that there is a teacher actually running my errands for my things outside of their scheduled working time. There's a certain kind of feeling knowing that someone has to give up their evening to go run errands for me when I can do it myself, and I'm literally addicted to like stationery stores and shopping for projects. I literally love doing that, and I know that I'm going to be getting the right things. You're going to find that once your students start telling you the Chinese translation of simple English words, that there are literally words that your mouth cannot pronounce because we weren't raised in this culture. Similarly, when the co-teacher or homeroom teacher wants to give an oral exam, you may be requested to be the voice for that oral exam. This would consist of them recording you saying what is expected on the exam. So number 1, circle and write. What do you hear? These, this, those, that. You are letting your students practice hearing correctly how it's pronounced, and they are more likely to enunciate it that way that maybe a non-native English speaker would pronounce it if they were giving the oral exam. I have 10 minutes left before my lunch is over, so we're gonna walk to Starbucks while I talk about number 10. If you happen to be invited as the native English teacher to the Taiwan monthly teacher meetings, I would suggest that you go. Taiwan is looking to be fully bilingual by the year 2030, which is already an ambitious goal, but is even more ambitious for those teachers who are responsible for this curriculum that either are not native English speakers or don't know English at all. So to have you there to offer suggestions takes so much off of their plate. If you were to look at this like the shoe on the other foot, what if you had to teach a language that you knew nothing about? You knew a little bit about it, but you didn't know a lot about it. How would you do that? How would you make sure that the grammar is correct? How would you make sure that the sentences are in the right structure? For you to sit in on these meetings for 1 hour or 2 hours to help them with their syntax, to help them with their grammar, makes such a huge difference. Okay, let's cross the street. Yay, Starbucks! Okay, I was gonna order a coffee, but what exactly is a peach apple cold foam oolong? That's what we're getting today. So if you've seen this video here, you know that hiring season is officially open in Taiwan. ESL teachers are being recruited for public, private, and international schools alike. What kind of videos would you like to see to help get you ready for this process to come over? Please leave a comment below. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Look at all that. You see all that cream up there? Okay, here we go. There are literally bits and pieces of apple in here, mixed with oolong tea, and the froth takes away from all of the sweetness. This is so delicious. I hope you guys make it here to taste all of the unique flavors that Starbucks have, because they have like 2 or 3 different ones every month. They validate my addiction.